Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show with your host, Johnny. Today we'll be covering the Mexico border, also other issues within our own nation. So I will now turn the mic over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Thank you, Pete, and I appreciate it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show, as usual, on our Monday night. I want to welcome all of our guests. I want to welcome our listeners. And I want to thank all of you for your donations. They're helping tremendously. There's a lot going on. I mean, a whole lot of cues this time, a lot we're going to cover. But down on the border, I will give you a little bit of an update. Situation is still the same. We do need boots on the ground. We still need donations, which we're going to keep needing because we are not paid for doing what we do. I want to welcome Jared. I want to welcome Joshua or Jeremiah, Matt, all of you basically, and Mary. Again, I want to welcome you. I know you're in there, or you will be in a minute if you're not. And my friends JC in Louisiana. We have news. I got word today from David down on the border. He's with one of our teams down there. I want to say hi to you, David. I know you're listening. It's been kind of quiet where he's at, but over where we were, and got more men that are going down as soon as we get their training done here. They'll be headed down to the border very shortly, down in El Paso, Santa Teresa area. The night that we left down there, that night, over 1,000 of them tried to come across the Border Patrol and enforcement got. We do need boots on the ground in the worst way. If anybody is willing to come and help, we are literally the only defense in New Mexico to try to stop these people from coming across. And we need boots on the ground. We need help, and we need your prayers. We need those more than anything. We still haven't got to the bottom of Kevin, who was murdered on the border, one of our men. Still investigating it, still trying to get more information, but they're withholding information, trying to hide things. Don't know why, but we're going to find out. However, if you do want to be here, hello, Jared, glad to have you. God bless you, man. What I want to do is I want to tell you exactly what we do. We are down there. We are armed, and we will fire if we are fired on. That has already been granted to us. The Border Patrol is continuously now. They are working with us 100%. After we did the human wall down there, at the human wall, you can go to our Facebook on United Constitutional Patriots and watch the whole video down there, and you will see that the United Constitutional Patriots are welcome on the border, and the Border Patrol will work with us 100%. I worked with the supervisor of that area and their main supervisor, and they assured us they not only want to work with us, but they will put men with us to help us. So I want to say a shout out to the police departments down there that worked with us, the Border Patrol. They are listening. And I tell you what, these people are really good people to work with. They want our help. They don't want a bunch of yahoos down there that are down there to start something. They want people who use common sense, who's willing to go down there and work in unison with them. Not trying to be Rambos or anything, not trying to create a problem, but will work with them, help them, and they will work with us in the same. Like I told the main supervisor there, I said, well, we got your 6. He says, we'll have your 6 too. And that made me feel good. The men down there were very professional, and that meant a whole lot. When they seen that we do have trained veterans, meant a whole lot when they observed them, and next you know, they were standing shoulder to shoulder, locked and loaded with them, watching to make sure there was no problem. Why the civilians doing the human wall were up on the hill. They had their people in place as well as ours. So I was very proud of it. If you want to be a part of this, help us. We need help all the way across New Mexico. But this is one area where we really need well-trained veterans who have combat experience. This is the most dangerous place on the border. We need them bad in the Columbus area, the Antelope Wells area. This is where we need men, because we don't have a military down there. We never have, even though our great governor, I'm going to hyphenate that, said she pulled the National Guard off the border. She's never had the National Guard on the border ever. We're the only boots on the ground that have been there, other than the Border Patrol, State Patrol, Sheriff's Departments, and the Forest Rangers. So those are the only ones that have ever been there. And she's lied to us. Now she's come right out and said that they will basically tell the citizens of what to do. We have 34 counties in the state of New Mexico. Out of the 34 counties, 33 of them said that they're not going to honor her gun regulations, where now she just wants to take the guns away from us and the weapons. And 33 sheriff's departments are standing up against her. She said now she's going to get the National Guard to take the weapons away from the people. She won't get the National Guard on the border to protect the people, but she'll come up and take the weapons away from them so they can't protect themselves. What's wrong with that picture? Well, okay, it's 33 counties. Okay, it's 33 counties. 32 of the counties said that they were not going to adhere to it. Thanks, Reaper. Appreciate it. But Jared, I want to say hi to. He says, good evening, Chuck and Johnny. WM Flutes, hi there from northwestern Washington State. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Glad to have you. Now, here's what we're looking at. We need boots on the ground. We ask for donations because when the boots are on the ground down there, we've tried to make sure you have everything you want, because you're not staying in motels, you're not eating in restaurants. You are in the field, tent, sleeping on the ground, watching the border around the clock 24/7. We take care of you the best we can with the donations and stuff that we have that are donated, which is everything from funds to food. Now, if you want to donate and help these men and women, there's not just men down there, men and women, patriots, veterans who are ready to give their life to keep this country free, because if they come through the border in a mass movement, now let me tell you something, and they break through us, it's all about the Alamo, because the rest of the war is going to be in your hands. You get to fight it, because we'll be dead. And that's the God's honest truth. I'm not going to paint no pretty pictures. But if you want to donate to us, you can donate to the United Constitutional Patriots on Facebook. You can just Google us. We'll pop up. We have our donation page there. All you got to do is you can donate through PayPal if you want. If you want to send gas cards, Walmart cards, something where we can give it to the men and they can get what they need, you can send anything you want. Tents, sleeping bags, socks, medical supplies, you name it. If you're going on a camping trip, that's what these men need. You can send it to the United Constitutional Patriots at Post Office Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415, and you can send it in care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney. If you want to be boots on the ground, call me at 505-334-2492. We will do everything where we can. We need your help, physically, financially, and in your prayers. So this is what I'm looking at. You know, if you're interested, please call me, 505-334-2492. Jeb, call me after our show. I know you were supposed to call me. You're eating dinner, but call me after the show's over with. I don't know what else I can say at the moment, except for I'm going to turn this now over, give you some updates on news and stuff. We got Nuclear Warrior going to fill you in on a lot of stuff that's going on. You hear a lot of rumors. You get a lot of fake news. This has been vetted, folks. And it's vetted, I'll put it straight, it's vetted out of Washington. As everybody knows, we are in constant contact with the Oval Office personally. And our team works their butt off to get this information to you. This is true, vetted news. We are licensed in the state of New Mexico, and we are also registered with the federal government, the United Constitutional Patriots. Anybody want to ever check it out? It's not hard to find. It's United Constitutional Patriots, Farmington, New Mexico. So with that, I'm going to turn that over to Nuclear Warrior. Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you, Commander. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, fellow patriots, and all Trump supporters, and all you folks listening, guests, people going to follow this thing when they replay the video. Anyway, I think mentioned the last time we were on the radio show that the GESRA Act is in force. It's working its way right along, just according to the plan. And there were some provisions in there about the abolition of the Internal Revenue Service and the Federal Reserve Bank. Those things are in progress. It is official as of the 17th, Friday, which would have been the 15th, and into the 16th, that the IRS was starting its abolition, going to be shutting down, and it's in full swing. As the commander mentioned, information came straight to us from Washington, D.C. The IRS is officially closed, but it's in the progress of winding down. There's much to be done before they can officially close the door for good. The Federal Reserve Bank is no longer. It is now the United States Treasury. And Treasury assets, to my knowledge, are on the sovereign territory in the state of Oklahoma. I believe it's Fort Sill. So that's an update that we found out about over the weekend. Things that have to happen with the IRS. Okay, the reconciliation of old assets into the new financial system, and that'll be a task of the alliance, the global alliance, because they're all part of the GESRA law. All old assets will be put under the microscope and scrutiny of the clean, clear, and non-terroristic inclusion in the new system. That was part of the thing. They had to get a lot of the cabal assets, monetary trading, etc., out of the stock market in order to get this thing into full swing, because they didn't want to have any outside influences on the transition. So that's part of the steady decline we've seen over the past 8 to 10 months. Moving on, any and all old money and assets that were created illegally on the backs of humanity will be seized by the alliance and become part of the public trust and distributed as gifts to individuals through their accounts in the quantum financial system. Only historically clean trust monies will be accepted and reconciled into the new financial system. This is no small task, but the alliance has all the information they need to perform this major beneficial task for humanity. This is going to take, best guesstimate, anywhere from 4 to 6 months to implement. So that's why things are not happening instantaneously with a shutdown of the IRS. Much work behind the scenes that needs to get cleaned up and rolled over into the new financial system. You can probably learn more about that as you listen to our broadcast here throughout the week and into next, because as the information becomes available, we prep it and get it ready to present to all y'all. Okay, so that takes care of stuff to deal with the IRS and the Federal Reserve. Let's see what else I have on the plate here. I lost my page. Oh, there it is. As mentioned earlier on, too, there was a deal that was brought out about the global currency reset update, and I believe that was on the 15th. Last Friday, I presented some of that, and there's been some continuation on it. appointment times for the Zimbabwe transactions, etc., European Union, the Brexit vote. That was the big one because now the Brexit vote has passed. They are no longer part of the European Union, which means that the Bank of London had to sever its ties with the Bank of the Vatican, and therefore we have all but eliminated monetary trading and the flow of assets, etc., throughout the cabal and the deep state. So, rumor has it that Soros and Barack Obama were said to be residing at Gitmo. I think that's more fact than fiction. And as a matter of fact, they've been kind of separated into two separate camps over there based on some friction between Barack Obama providing names of involved Kabbalists and George Soros as well. So they are separated. And therefore they still remain alive at this point. A little Twitter note that I stumbled onto here late this afternoon, early evening, concerning Ilhan Omar. Seems back in 2013, she was arrested and booked at Hennepin County Jail in Minnesota for trespassing. And the question was brought up, why is she in Congress? The reason is because she received $182,130 in PAC donations from over 6 PACs, and the list of ties include the CAIR, David Brock, Media Matters, George Soros, Keith Ellison, Nancy Pelosi, Bill Maher, and many, many more. So her way was bought into the House of Representatives. You can look up that stuff if you like. It's all public record. And what else we got here? I'm going to a little blurb from the ACLJ concerning the Senate's activities with defending infants born alive. Apparently, what should have been a unanimous decision, Senator Pat Murphy objected, expressed the opinion that the legislation known as the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act was unnecessary and a political stunt. So, therefore, that battle is ongoing as well. You've probably heard some rumors about some of Trump's, what do I call it, some of his office staff or people that work with him, for him, etc., have been maybe planning to invoke the 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Several problems exist with their efforts to do so. He has to be removed from office due to death or resignation or impeachment, and therefore declared to be unable to perform his duties as per the oath he took when he became the president. There is much involved with that. I would recommend that you take a look online, get a copy of the Constitution of the Constitution for the United States of America, 1789 version, and it will probably have revisions up through and including the 1992 added 27th Amendment. So, their efforts to invoke the 25th Amendment to unseat the president are not going to go well for the deep state, because it's nearly impossible for them to prove his inability to do his job. And we all know he's not going to resign, and very likely he's going to stay alive for a while yet. Okay, I think I've pretty much covered it. More information you can gather, just do some Google searches or whichever search you like to listen to or use, and look up GESARA, that's GESARA, Act, Law, whatever. And you'll find all kinds of stuff that is listed in there, and a good majority of it is in progress. Some of it has been completed. So there's your homework assignment, folks. Do a little studying. I may be able to pop in here a little later with more facts, figures, etc. But for right now, I don't want to eat up too much of our broadcast time. I'm going to turn this back over to the commander for further forwarding to other of the team members.
Okay, I think Preacher had to step out for a second. Are you available, Preacher?
I'm here. John, can you give me just, before I do the cues, And I got another little interesting object that's going to be of interest to everybody that I want to cover right quick. But before I do that, can you have somebody else come up for just a few minutes until I get my wife home? She's on her way now, and I need to get her in the door, get her set down, so I'm not being interfered when I'm on the air.
No problem. No problem. Okay. Go ahead, Nuclear Warrior.
Yep, I could eat just a little more of that time there. There's people that are also wondering how it is that we have Muslim bodies in our Congress. Well, it used to be that they could not hold office in our Congress, but then, well, that was all due to a document called the McCarran Internal Security Act of 1950. That pretty much made sure that we didn't have any communist figures holding office, Muslim figures holding office, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that was deemed to be not necessary, unconstitutional. I don't know for sure if it was unconstitutional or not because it was part of the Constitution, but it has been removed in the 1990s, I think under Bill Clinton. But that is why, because the McCarran Act has been withdrawn, and it is my opinion that it was wrongfully done so. I think we need to press our seated representatives in the House and the Senate of the United States to reenact the McCarran International Security Act and get us back to the republic that we rightfully have and legislation that works for the good of the republic. So if Preacher is back, I'll have the commander turn it over to him, and we'll do some Q drop reviews.
Okay. Preacher, you handy, or do you want me to take it for a few minutes?
Take it for a few minutes there, Commander, because I'm still not quite available yet. They haven't got here yet. I'm waiting for them to bring her home.
Okay. Okay. Just flash when you're ready, okay? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cover a little bit of what Trump is doing. Go back when he first was running for president. He said that he was going to put America back as the greatest country in the world and the strongest. He has done it. Everything he has promised us, he has done, and the left has fought him tooth and nail. The people who believed in him have stood behind him and with him and beside him. And we will continue to do that forever as far as the Patriot groups. And I know that the listeners, I know you're Patriots or you wouldn't be in this room. But you know, when President asked for our prayers, and when he asked for our help, he asked for help, which walks on his pride because he's a strong man and has never had to ask help. But he does because he believes in the American people standing behind him. He believes in our troops. He believes in our freedom. He wants to keep America free in every way he can. He would have had the wall up if the Democrats hadn't have fought him every step of the way. And you know, the funniest part of that, Pelosi, Schumer, all of them, we got videos that you can Google them, you can find them, where they were all for the wall, 100% for the wall. They even approved the money for the wall prior to President Trump's being inaugurated. Now, he's putting the wall up and they're having a fit. And the only reason why that they are having that fit, and I mean the only reason, is because they want to stop Trump on anything he wants or he can do. They're making millions of dollars off of baby body parts. I posted earlier, and I took it back out because it was so gross, a display of exactly how they're tearing these kids apart. I cannot believe that anybody could be so cold-blooded. That's murder. That is out and out murder. If there's a heart beating in that child, that is a child. Now, the only time I feel that somebody should have an abortion is if that child dies while inside of that woman, or if there's a medical problem that could kill the mother or the child at birth. That's the only time that I feel an abortion is necessary. You know, it is sickening the way the Democrats try to push everything into the corner and try to squeeze Trump into a corner. But every time it comes out fighting, and he's going to keep fighting. He wants our American flag to keep flying. And you know what? We're going to help it do that. Not just us as patriots, but us as Americans. I said last show, you're not a black person. You're not a white person. You're not a brown person. You're not a green person. You're an American. So the bottom line is, to hell with the skin color. If you're an American, by God, stand up and be an American. Because I don't care what color you are. If you're a patriot, you stand for Trump, you stand for America, you stand for freedom, and stand for our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, then damn it, you're welcome with us. That's all there is to it. You know, the other day I got a little bit upset, and I want to apologize to the listeners that were listening. But you know, I get tired of these patriots claiming to be patriots, but yet they want to be a patriot behind a computer. They don't want to be boots on the ground, yet they say they do. I've had, this last 6 months, I've had coast to coast people say, hey, we're on our way. Not many of them showed up. But I will say this, the ones that have showed up are still here. They're patriots. And I appreciate them, I respect them, and they're a part of us. So the bottom line is, no matter how you look at it, we're going to stand up for America. We're asking you to stand with us. Now, I know a lot of you have jobs, you have families to take care of. That's understanding. But how many of you out there are sitting back collecting welfare checks and saying, I can't come? You know what? If you're collecting a welfare check, you're going to get that check whether you're on the border or if you're at home. If you need to be here, we need you here. That's the bottom line. If you want to be boots on the ground, call me at 505-334-2492. I'm going to turn this up. Now I'm going to turn this over to preachers. So I just want you to think about that, folks. What can you do for America? What can you do to save America from the invasion that's coming out of Mexico? It is an invasion, believe me. I've seen with my own eyes. I've been down there. My men have seen it. We lost a man. A man was killed out on the border. One of our men, the first one ever, was killed about a month ago. Think about that. Is his life going to go in vain? I sure pray it doesn't. Because we need your help in every way. We need your prayers. Go ahead, preacher.
All right. Good evening. I am ready to go now. I had to wait until we got my wife back home. She was over her daughters for a little while. She's sitting here beside me now, so I am set on go. And we have had, I know everybody is interested in the information that Q has to give us. And he has given us quite a bit in the last few days. I'm going to go over most of it. At least some of it from the last couple of days. I'm going to try to cover it as quickly as I can. They've given me a little more time this evening, but I've got something here. I'm hoping everybody can still hear me.
We can hear you.
Fantastic. Okay, here we go. I got a little something of interest that I want to share with you here that I ran across a couple of days ago, and silly me, I hadn't had the opportunity because things have been so busy around here to let my fellow workmates here, my colleagues here at United Constitutional Radio know about this yet, because we've had so much stuff coming in, and we've been, my intelligence team's been running hither, thither, and yon, working on some stuff that we were requested to work on, and this, that, and the other. But I'm going to take the opportunity to share this with you now, because And shortly here, when I'm going through the Q's, you're going to hear me read one Q where Q mentions something about an information waterfall, okay, that's coming. Now, if you're a amateur radio operator and you use certain ham radio rigs, you understand waterfalls because you have them right there on your rig, especially if you're working digital modes. All right. Well, just a few days ago when we were going through the queues, we saw the queue again where it mentioned Red Castle, Green Castle. Well, Green Castle happens to be Greencastle, Indiana, which is the headquarters of the Red Castle, which is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. But here's something you may not have known about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and this is going to be of interest to my colleagues here at United Constitutional Patriots Radio as well. And that is that the U.S. Army Geospatial Center, which has to do with satellite communications, is a major subordinate command of the United States Army Corps of Engineers. And this is what was posted on the 8chan, one of the ANONs posted this. Okay, AGC, or Army Geospatial Center, employs technologies for the collection, use, storage, and distribution of aerial and satellite imagery. President Trump himself said the stage is set and showed his hands in a 5-5. He had both hands up showing fives. Q posted the V for Vendetta video where a disc is inserted in the public and the public is shown information. Q also posted an article that shows that the networks refuse to cover Senate's No Russia Collusion report. Q said the public will be informed before justice can be served. The Great Awakening. Maybe, it's just a possibility here, maybe the Army Corps of Engineers is also helping collect raw video through satellites of these traitors in action, possibly with the help of the emergency broadcast system, where we're all supposed to receive everybody's supposed to receive the emergency announcement on their phones, possibly with help of the U.S. or the emergency broadcast system. The AGC will distribute this imagery to the public, to phones, and bypass the fake news. Okay, now, and he mentions Q584 where it says is a stage set for a drop of Hillary Rodham Clinton, etc., etc. So this is a direct possibility that they may be going to use the U.S. Army Geospatial, which is part of the Corps of Engineers, to release a lot of this imagery of the of the deep state in action and what have you. So that's something to bear in mind, and something for my intelligence unit to bear in mind, because most of them use cell phones. I don't own one myself. Perhaps I should, since I'm the head of intelligence. Anyway, so we turn now to the Qs, and I'm going to cover a few of them. And we're going to start with 2743. Q2743, this was from late Saturday night, I think. We're going to do yesterday's and today's. And I'm going to go through them as quickly as I can. Okay, Q2743, the title is, I'm on qmap.pub. That's qmap.pub for anybody that wants to kind of type that into your search engine and look it up, and you can read these for yourself. That's qmap.pub. Title is Fake News Networks Refuse to Cover Senate's No Russia Collusion Report. Okay. And there's a Breitbart.com article of the same title, and it says, how do you know when the media is biased and pushing a knowingly false fake narrative? disinformation campaign designed to buy them more time by attempting to con enough people in order to remove the duly elected president in order to save themselves from prosecution. Enemy of the people, Q. Okay, 2744. Q quotes the Bible. Okay, he quotes 3 passages of scripture, and this should strengthen you, ladies and gentlemen. But the Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and protect you from the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. God is our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. Psalm 46:1. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Matthew 6:13. Q. Okay, Q 2745. Title, former top FBI lawyer. 2 Trump cabinet officials were ready to support 25th Amendment effort. Now, evidently that effort failed, but they were ready to support that. And there is a FoxNews.com article of the same title, and then Q says, information waterfall. Now, remember what I just read you about the geospatial, our U.S. Army Geospatial Center. Information waterfall, buckle up, traitors in the kill box, Q. 2746. Okay, the establishment runs deep is the title. Q says they were removed. When was Page removed from the investigation? What month? July 2017. Early. When was Scaramucci hired? July 2017. Late. Regarding the Scaramucci model, 5x5, those who left, a majority, did not have a choice. All remained pro-MAGA and loyal to POTUS. Why are we attacked by pro-MAGA? The establishment runs deep. Logical thinking, Q. All right, Q 2747. POTUS statements on the border security, victory, and Consolidated Appropriations Act 2019. And he simply posted a link to the whitehouse.gov briefing statements on that. Okay, Q 2748. All right, he repeats a couple of Qs. One is Q. Okay, it's from November the 10th, 2018. Scaramucci play temporary hire to remove embedded untrustworthy staffers. Spicer and Priebus. Temps can be very dangerous to those who are targeted. Think Whitaker next week. Now, that was in November. Okay, and then he repeated that and said White House optics must remain stable. Many did not leave by choice. Save face and promote MAGA or be exposed. Less than 10 attacks occur from all directions. Logical thinking. Why attack movement simply by design, asking people to think for themselves, control equal power? Why are the biggest news companies in the world continuing to attack this movement? Why is the Washington Post leading the attacks? Why do the attacks come in waves, coordinated? You attack those the most who are the biggest threat. Swamp in a kill box contains red and blue. Q. Okay. Q 2749. POTUS will not treat spending decisions as dependent on the approval of congressional committees. Okay. And the Post says numerous provisions purport in certain circumstances to condition the authority of officers to spend or reallocate funds or approval of approval of congressional committees. These are permissible forms of congressional aggrandizement in the execution of the laws and other than by the enactment of statutes. My administration will make appropriate efforts to notify the relevant committees before taking the specified action and will accord the recommendation of such committees all appropriate and serious consideration, but it will not treat spending decisions as dependent upon the approval of congressional committees. Okay. Let's see if I can get back there. QMAP. All right. So, okay, and then it says, okay, so, and the anon asks, so all restrictions are off. Q says, trust your president. Q. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, Q2750, and just like that, POTUS disarms the spending restrictions. Okay, and this is an anon. He says Trump's statement is brilliant. Deep state loaded the bill with multiple facets to block it, and his White House statement just released systematically points out section by section where they tried to block him, and he's countering that by citing presidential and constitutional authority. Shall we play a game? Okay, Q2751. Another anon on the Chan Poston says, I trust POTUS, I trust the Lord. The Lord is leading POTUS, of that I'm certain. And Q Poston says, the Lord is leading us all, good versus evil. Q. All right, Q2752. All right, and another anon post and says, these phrases below imply that Trump plans on following his constitutional rights, no matter what he signed in the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2019, which authorizes appropriations to fund the operation of a number of agencies in the federal government through September 30th, 2019. My administration will treat each of these provisions consistent with the President's constitutional authorities with respect to foreign relations, and my administration will continue the practice of treating provisions like these as advisory and not binding, and my administration will make appropriate efforts to notify the relevant committees before taking the specified actions, and will accord the recommendations of such committees all appropriate and serious consideration, but it will not treat spending decisions as dependent on the approval of congressional committees. Okay, and Q says, you are the news now. Q. All right. Okay, Q2753 is a Twitter status, which reads, okay, yeah, it's a video of a man who posted on Twitter and said, if you don't like his country, leave. I guess Q enjoyed that, so he posted it. Q2754 shows a map of the United States, and it shows a map. It goes back and forth. On one of these Qs, it shows a map where the states that allow driver's licenses for illegals are also the ones that usually vote Democrat. Sadly, unfortunately, John Commander probably knows this, but New Mexico is one of those states. Okay, at least at this point. All right, and it says it, and Q says it's very simple. Without the illegal vote, Democrats lose. Previous illegal immigration, high population with Democrats win by county provided. Example 2. Why do Democrats push for illegals to obtain driver's license? Does having driver's license make it easier to vote? Okay. What states provide driver's licenses to illegals? What checks are in place within each of the driver's license granted states to prevent 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times voting? Compare versus 2016 presidential election results. What do you notice? Do you believe in coincidences? Memes are important. facts matter, Q. Okay, 2754, he repeats that, and then he shows another map that shows the states that voted Democrat in the last election, and they match pretty much the ones that provide driver's license. Okay. Q2756. Okay. He repeats a couple of Qs, and then he says, date posted early October 31st, 2017, prior to Black population awakening. Why did we emphasize this as important? When you are awake, you can see clearly. Q. Okay. 2757. He repeats 2756 and then says, swap we for you on the move. Q. So he made a mistake there because he's on the move. Okay. 2758. Okay. And he makes the comparison between the map. Then Anand does. It says yet another blatant Q proof, 00 Delta. Trump team is with us today, friends. And Q says, we love our memes, don't we, folks? Q plus. Okay. Q2759 is a photograph of the president when he was making his speech the other day when he announced the state of emergency. And then they repeat a couple of Qs with the maps, have another picture of the president, and then says 20 deltas, guys, 2 and Q plus. Okay. 0 delta, by the way, is when when Q and the president post almost the same time on the dot. Okay. And Q2760 and 2761 basically again repeat the show the Q maps again, or not the Q maps, but show the maps again, showing the ones we just discussed. And then says down here, says 0 delta from today, and the last 0 delta, 16 total now. Thank you, Patriot Q. So it's showing the number of times that the president and Q have posted at the same time, 0 delta. Okay, 2762. Q is setting the stage to get to 17 0 delta occurrences. Okay, he says, think about why separated both maps to post instead of placing both in the original. At what point is it mathematically impossible? Okay, Q2763, and Anand posted both maps and said good stuff. And then in 2764 is a map overlay. It's a GIF that goes back and forth. It's a math overlay showing the connection between illegals and Democrat states in 2016. And Q says, great work, Patriot, will further highlight. Q. All right, Q2765 is a repeat of a Q from November the 7th. Says we got what we needed. Thank you, Patriots. Senate means everything. This was after the election. Think judges, Supreme Court, Cabinet, D-class, overrides potential House blockades. D-class is coming, by the way, folks. POTUS has ultimate authority. Shift to the Senate judiciary oversight from House to now occur. Stronger position and held in reserve for this scenario. Lower chamber House used as 2-year starter. Upper chamber Senate will be used as next 2-year closer. Okay, military planned. No impact regarding ongoing investigations. Team is stronger. Let's see, I think it's pro in a kill box, or pro in brackets, excuse me. Q. And then Q adds a link to a McCabe comments beyond stunning as he threatens to subpoena former FBI chief. Planned Q. Okay, let's see. Q 2766, Whitaker to stay at Justice Department following stint as acting Attorney General. It's another Q proof, and he repeats Q 2681 where he talked about Whitaker remains on Department of Justice senior staff, and then he adds to that Whitaker remained DOJ senior staff, senior counselor in the Associate Attorney General's office. Planned Q. Okay, Q 2767. Oh, look at here. Q calls out NSA leaker Edward Snowden. So Snowden's back on the list here. Says, at Snowden, what happens when Russia gives you up? Will the CIA protect you? Sleep is important. Q. Okay. Okay. 2768. Jussie Smollett, false flag linked to Senator Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Now, Smollett was where they attempted to stage an attack on this guy because he's black and gay, supposedly, by two fake Trump supporters. They couldn't even do that right. And there's a number of photographs here showing this Smollett guy with the Obamas. And Q says, Harris and Booker applying political pressure regarding Chicago PD, regarding Smollett false flag case. What bill did the Senate recently pass regarding lynching? Okay, they passed a bill to make lynching illegal, thinking they're going to protect themselves from hanging after the military tribunals. Okay, who were the authors of the bill? What false flag event took place just prior to the passing of the bill? The Smollett thing. What did the false flag event evolve? Okay, what did the false flag event evolve a noose? Did the false flag event sway senators in their decision to prevent fake news attacks regarding Smollett case? Did fake news contact many senators prior to vote seeking out pro-nay in an attempt to coerce using Smollett case as foundation for possible future smear? What is the mathematical possibility or probability of these two events occurring within the same time period? What is the relationship of Smollett and Booker and Harris? Will Rahm Emanuel get involved? Will Chicago PD cave under pressure? These people are sick. Wake up, America. Q. Okay. Then Q in the next Q in Q 2768, he repeats that, and then he reminds us with a quick history lesson. 13th Amendment abolished slavery. 14th Amendment gave citizenship to freed slaves. 15th Amendment gave the right to vote for all. And those were all supported by the Republicans and not supported by Democrats. So he's reminding us that Democrats are the real racist. Irony. Q. Okay. Q 2770. First example, Democrats married to fake news. Okay. How do you infiltrate mainstream news media? Example one, ABC executive producer Ian Cameron married to Susan Rice, National Security Advisor under Hussein. CBS News, CNN, Jordan Biana Vitalivina, married to Peter R. Rozag, Director of Office of Management and Budget under Hussein. CBS News, President David Rhodes, brother of Ben Rhodes, National Security Advisor under Hussein. ABC News correspondent Claire Shipman, married to Jay Charney, White House press secretary under Hussein. Mainstream news media, arm extension of the Democratic Party. Nothing to see here. Q. Okay. Boy, there's a bunch of them, folks. Q. Okay. Q2771. Fake news knew about Q's reach back in 2018. How about now? Okay. Time.com, most influential internet. They knew the reach then. Think about now. Q. Okay. World is, okay, 2772. World is waking up to the truth. Expect fake news attacks to increase dramatically. Okay. Shows photograph of the president. There's some other stuff there that's too small for me to read. Other photographs and everything. And he says the world is waking up to the truth. Expect attacks to dramatically increase across all platforms. Q. Okay. Q277330 Delta Q drops POTUS tweets in a single day. The odds are astronomical. And Anonymous posted, the Mueller investigation, this is from President Trump, the Mueller investigation is totally conflicted, illegal, and rigged, should never have been allowed to begin, except for the collusion and many crimes committed by the Democrats. Witch hunt. Okay, new POTUS tweet, minus, or 1 minute Delta. Okay, and Q says 3 today. What are the odds of that? Q. Okay. All right. Q2774. Q request graphic memes of the 30 deltas. Okay. 3Q0 deltas. Q. Okay. Graphic request. Okay. 2775. He gets them. Okay. And stage is being set. Undeniable. Q POTUS connection for something big coming. And Q says, well done, Patriot. Important to note, Q drops just prior to POTUS. Something big is all in capital letters, is coming. Q. Okay, now this is interesting. Q2776. Attorney General Barr, Special Counsel Mueller, and Rod Rosenstein discuss Russia investigation. And this was actually classified, but Q posted it. Barr to Mueller. Bob, show me the evidence and reasoning for why this investigation was started and is still ongoing. Mueller to Barr. With regards to the president, we have found no links or ties to any foreign entity, etc. Barr to Mueller. Mandate was clear. Verify and investigate reports of possible foreign collusion between President and Russia. What justification existed to effectively launch a massive domestic foreign surveillance campaign against the President-elect / President, and members of his transition campaign team? Mueller to Barr. Steele dossier along with media corroboration of those findings. Barr to Mueller. Was the Steele report a trusted and verified report for intel to continue, especially considering the funding party was the opposition party? Mueller to Barr. Those facts were never taken into consideration. FISA court granted authority to conduct based on conclusions presented. Barr to Mueller. Was FISA court made aware of all details surrounding the dossier? Mueller to Barr. No. We believe there was urgency placed on the authority given the gravity and timeline of events that those involved negated to populate fully. Barr to Mueller. Why were efforts made to continue investigating the president interrupts his official capacity in governing if the only document presented was unsubstantiated and unverified? Why were questions and threat of subpoena communicated to the president if no factual foundation existed? All charges thus far are unrelated to the official mandate. Why are you still active and pursuing crime if no verifiable evidence or evidence through discovery exists? Barr to Rosenstein. What justification did you have to effectively expand the mandate, not report that expansion to Congress in order to seek a crime outside of Russian collusion? What specific reasoning and or facts existed to justify appointment of special counsel to begin with per the law? Why did you recommend, to Sessions that he should recuse? Why wasn't the mandate, budget, and regular updates provided to Congress upon request? Why is everything kept confidential and under inappropriate classification? Was the purpose of investigating to find a crime versus investigate evidence of a crime? Classified 1 through 99. So Q is providing us with what was classified information there to show us that it's Mr. Barr, the new Attorney General, is going to be declassifying everything. Okay. In 2777, okay, title is disregard any misspelling in the previous drop. He repeats that previous drop that we just read. Said disregards any misspelling on the move, Q. Then in 2778, he again repeats 2776, and then he says there's a Twitter status from President Trump again, and he said, do you believe in coincidences? Kitchen is hot, Q. Okay. 2779. Again, a graphic showing the three Q POTUS 0 deltas. And Q says, excellent graphic, seconds matter, mathematically impossible, 17th in brackets, Q. Okay. 2780. We're getting closer, folks. 2780 is a tweet from CNN. It says CNN, former acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe says President Trump's own words were among the reasons top officials decided to open a counterintelligence probe and obstruction of justice investigation into him. Classic defection. The dog ate my homework. Evidence of a crime is what you need, Mr. FBI, not dislike and bias to open an investigation. Former acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe says President Trump's own words were among the reasons top officials decided to open counterintelligence probe and investigation into him. And then Q adds, dead cat bounce. Nothing can stop this, Q. Apparently they're all spilling the beans now. And then in Q2781 we have another graphic showing several shows. One movie called 25, another one's Tarmac. We've seen all these. One's FISA-gate, one's Trump 2020. We've seen all of those before. And Q says, impressive, most impressive, Q. Then this is interesting. Q2782. We've all wondered about California and why all this garbage is going on in California. This is going to be interesting to our buddy Pete because he lives out that way, out in that direction. 4 families. It's a graphic showing 4 families, 3 generations. Okay, we've got more bloodlines, more connections. Brown, Pelosi, Governor Brown, remember that one. Pelosi, Newsom, the new governor, and Getty. Okay, example, California. Okay, Says, what family runs California? They are all connected. Wealth, power, influence. Rigged in the kill box. The more you know. Q. Okay. All right. Let's see. Q2783. All right. Title, Laura Logan. Media everywhere is mostly liberal, not just the U.S. Okay, and it shows a Breitbart article of the same title. It says it takes courage to speak the truth these days. Q. Okay, 2784. Fake news media attacks Q and incorrectly sizes the Q movement. All right, and there's an article with that title, and then it says, what does fear look like? 30-minute use
30,000.
Huh?
30,000.
30,000. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll get it right, folks. 30,000 use QAnon across censored platforms. Incorrect. Much more. The Great Awakening, where we go on, we go all Q. Okay. Let's see. 2785. MSM is the propaganda arm of the left. Anons are the news now. Okay. And there's a graphic of Laura Logan's article on media bias and several more. Won't read all of that. Then it says repost Red 6698. Takes courage to speak the truth these days. Okay. And Q adds to that. He says read between the lines regarding MSM left. Research for yourself. Trust yourself. No one news location will provide unbiased content. Wake up. Facts matter. You are the news now. Q. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. We're well into today's. Okay. 2786 confirmed there was an illegal coup attempt on the President of the United States. All right. And the President tweeted, and he said, the President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief, agreed that an illegal coup was attempted against him. Stop and understand the gravity of acknowledgement. Do you believe nothing will happen? Do you believe no one will be prosecuted? POTUS making statements for no reason. How do you introduce the truth to those still asleep? D-class coming? Yes, folks. The message must be direct. Bypass the non-reporting of the truth, facts, by fake spin narrative news. Now remember again, message must be direct. Bypass non-reporting truth, facts, fake spin narrative news. Remember what I said about the report to you about the geospatial, okay, a while ago. Okay, Q2787, biggest scandal in our known history. All right, and we start with a Twitter from James Woods that said if these actions were directed against sitting Democrat president, this would be a Watergate-level story to national news media by now. There was an attempt by an acting deputy attorney general to weaponize the DOJ in a presidential coup d'etat. Apparently, we're talking about McCabe there, okay? And Q adds, he says, attempt to isolate at FBI DOJ. Do you believe the FBI DOJ acted alone? If Hillary Rodham Clinton directed and financed the dossier in order to obtain the bulk so-called evidence in order to generate circular news articles, think Yahoo, and obtain a FISA court sign-off, is it reasonable to think that members of the intel apparatus, State Department, White House, foreign allies, etc., were also involved? The biggest scandal in our known history. A new word for treason will need to be invented. Why does Hussein continue to proudly state his administration was scandal-free? Define projection, Q. Okay, Q 2788. Q is addressing people's innate need for truth, transparency, justice, good, right, freedom, and safety. Okay. How can an entity known only as Q, faceless, nameless, fameless, etc., begin to ask questions on 4chan, now 8chan, and build something of this magnitude? How can this same Q entity garner such a massive amount of worldwide MSM fake news attention and attacks? How is it possible this Q entity can forecast future events or know when POTUS is about to tweet? How is it possible future proves past regarding information provided? How is it possible this Q entity, who began by merely asking questions on 4chan, 8chan, was able to fill in the blank? Think logically. People are craving truth. People are craving transparency. People are craving equal justice under the law. People are craving good. People are craving right. People are craving true freedom. People are craving safety and security. People are craving fill in the blank. The proofs negate falsehood, conspiracy attacks. Those who attack have an agenda or remain plugged into the biggest disinformation campaign to ever be witnessed. Ask yourself, why are liberals always angry? Why do they curse? Why do they slander, push fake labels, racist, sexist, etc.? Why do they create emotional outbursts when challenged? Why are they violent? Why do they form mobs, packs? Why are they incapable of listening to the other side? Fascist. When don't you have the facts to support your arguments? Present logical reasoning. You must resort to the above tactics. The narrative is designed to keep people in a constant state of fear, thereby forcing anger, rage, violence. Emotionally unstable people are easier to control. They want you divided by race, divided by class, divided by religion, divided by political affiliation, divided as human beings. Divided you are weak, together you are strong. When you are strong, you think for yourself. When you are strong, you challenge what you are told to believe. When you are strong, you are awake. When you are strong, you are no longer controlled. Trust yourself. Trust that you are not alone. Trust that you are good people. There are good people right beside you fighting for what we know to be right. God bless you all. Where we go on, we go all Q. Okay. Q2879, something big about to drop. And he repeats a cue that shows the American flag. And when he posts that American flag, that means something's about to happen. He says, fellow patriots, what you're about to learn or learning should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control, freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, pure abuse of evil power that the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. And he posts the, I guess that's the video where it says this video will get Trump elected, and says where we go on, we go all Q. Q2790, he reposted the map again. God bless the United States of America, _prepare PNG. Q2791, and a non-posted, Dan Coates out, forced soon, source equal Trump friend Chris Ruddy. And Q says, interesting, this leaked already, so apparently that's true. 2792, fear is real. Something big is coming. And Q posted and said just exactly that. Fear is real. Something big is coming. Q2793, big tech testing scenarios to prevent anti-narrative crosstalk on social platform. This is another one that needs to be heard right quick. Here it is. Chatter uptick regarding how to effectively prevent crosstalk regarding anti-narrative across all social media online platforms. Ability to prevent crosstalk narrows comms only to fake news, which provides more control over what is released to inform the public. A series of scenarios is currently being conducted, gaming the system to test response, risk, calculate results, censorship, added layers of inserted code through keyword targeting in bio, history, and comments, plus individual platform modes. It has failed to curtail the problem. China, Russia, Iran fake takedown hacks select platforms for maintenance is one scenario being game played. 0-day countermeasures in place. Example, think emergency system alert. Think White House controlled new real truth news. Don't we hear it call ourselves Real Truth News? Website. Think White House controlled new video stream platform. Think here. Should this occur, immediate steps will be taken to classify each as public utility, essential public services to gain appropriate government regulation control. Why do we make things public? Q. 2794 is a series of photographs pointing out another Q proof, and then it says this was a great proof. Anons are months ahead of the news. And Q says the Corinthia Hotel. Those are the photographs that are listed in some of the Qs. Q, okay, that's in the next few Qs coming up, are photographs of the Corinthia Hotel. All right. Boy. Okay. Q2795, desperation, Google's NewsGuard plugin to rate news website trustworthiness. Okay. And a non-posting says they're getting super desperate. So evidently this is must be Google's headquarters or something. I don't know. And Q says, yes, they are. Q 2796 shows a map of the area where these photographs were taken, right next to the traffic cam pic where the traffic cam pics were taken. Okay. Q2797. He begins to post the traffic pics. This was back some time ago when they grabbed I guess it says it's the same Piccadilly area in England where they grabbed the photographs of those people delivering or picking up the Steele dossier. That was McCain and Strzok and Page and several others. And Q2798 repeats those photographs and adds yet another photograph. Q2799 shows the graphic of the photograph again, and Q says always zero results. What does that tell you, Q? And last but not least, Q2800. And it does another photograph, and it shows a picture that shows where the cameras were mounted that took those pictures. Okay. And we have reached the end, believe it or not, of the Qs for this evening. So I'll turn it back over to the commander.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you, brother. Some reason I'm getting an echo. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now. Good
Okay.
coverage, Chuck. DOD.
Okay, we all know who that is. We don't say, though.
Yes.
Hey, Chuck, go off of voice activated.
I'm going to do that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of cues tonight. I hope that you got something out of it because there's a lot of information in there. Again, Nuclear Warrior, if you want to go in and read these cues, Nuclear Warrior can give you the link to where you can do that if you don't mind, Nuclear Warrior. Because we've been getting bombarded with cues. And I'm really happy that we are, because we find out a lot of information that the world needs to know, not just the country, but the world. However, I want to thank my friends for being here. Jared, you especially, Matt, all of you. Like I said, we need boots on the ground. If anybody knows anybody who is willing and able to come to the border and help to protect the state of New Mexico, please send somebody. They can contact me at 505-334-2492. You've heard rumors that the Border Patrol don't want us down there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you go to the United Constitutional Patriots page, you will find the video where we were just down there, and the total instructions was being given to us by the Border Patrol themselves, and they said we are not only welcome to work there, they want to work with us. So don't listen to these rumors. Don't listen to these rumors that there's nothing happening on the border. There's a whole lot happening on the border, folks. Right now is a calm before the storm, and we're trying to get people down here as soon as we can. We need boots on the ground. We need people who are serious. We want people down here that can help fill all kinds of positions, from foot soldiers to working with making sure the guys get their supplies, doing running, cooking for them, medical staff. This is what we need, because this is going to get real nasty here very shortly. Thanks to the Democrats. They are doing everything they can to cause problems, including us to be flanked on the border. We got word of that. So, and this would be flanked by the left, their Antifa, whoever it is. So this is what we're up against. Would you like to add anything to that, Nuclear Warrior?
No, sir, Commander. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I'm going to put the qmap.pub link into comments on the live stream, so folks can grab that and go do their Q drop studies.
Okay, well, I see Preacher already did it. So thank you, Preacher. And with that, we've pretty much covered everything, but we are asking for donations to help the men on the border. That's where the money goes to. If you can make a donation, I don't care if it's $1. Everything counts when there's men putting their butt on the line. They're not being paid to be there. They're there because they're patriots. They're there because they want to protect you and your children, your mothers, your fathers, your aunts, your uncles. They want to keep these people from getting in our country, from what they're doing in Mexico to the Mexican people, the raping, the killing, the disease, MS-13, you name it. We've been through it all before. And you all know that we need help. And for those of you that have been donating and helping, our prayers and our hearts reach out to you, and we're the biggest thank you could ever have, because the men on the border wouldn't be able to survive the way they are if it wasn't for your help. So again, if you can donate, please donate to the United Constitutional Patriots. You can Google our Facebook page. We have a PayPal on there. If you want to make a hard donation, like gas cards, Walmart cards, cans, binoculars, clothes, dry goods, dry foods, things they can use on the border that won't spoil, that'll keep them hot and nourished. This is what we need on the border, folks. If you'll look on our page, we have a whole list of stuff that is needed on the border. Now, if this was your uncle, your brother, your sister, somebody down there on the border, I know you'd support them. I know you'd be backing them. Well, We may not be blood, but we're all family. We're all Americans, and this is for the American people, not just the troops. This is to help them sustain what they need down there, why we are trying to protect the state of New Mexico and the United States, because if they come through New Mexico, which is a wide open border except for our men and women, and I'm saying brave men and women, if it wasn't for them, we may not be able to stop them, but we can sure as hell slow them down, even if it means having a flag draped over us. We're willing to do that. So if you want to be boots on the ground, call me at 505-334-2492. If you want to help with donations, our donations, send it to the United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton or Mark Cheney at Post Office Box 1334. Now, I want to give Bill recognition. We did go to, I finally drove down and got him in Oklahoma and brought him back. The man lied to me. He said he had a pickup load of stuff. Well, it ended up he had about 1,500 pounds of food alone, and there's another load down there waiting to be brought up. So it's a lie that I was happy to hear. But Bill, you're sitting here. Say hi to everybody.
Hello. God bless you all.
And he is definitely a true patriot. And I want to thank you personally because he makes things happen that took a lot of load off of us. And with that, I'm going to, what's that? Let's review the McCarran-Walter Act. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, let's revive it. We'll take care of any non-citizens in the Senate.
I agree 100%. If they're not an American, they're non-citizen, what the hell are they doing in the Senate to start with, or the Congress, or anywhere to do with the government? According to the laws of 1950s, a Muslim is not even allowed to run for an office, let alone they're not supposed to even be in the United States. But when you got Democrats that are trying to overtake the American people, the American way, and want to turn us into a country like Iraq, there's something wrong with that. So anyway, with that, I am going to have Chuck do the evening prayer, and then I will close the show. So, Chuck, would you mind?
Yes, sir, we'll do it. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now, thanking you, Lord, to thank you for this another opportunity that we've had to come here and do this great work that we do, as we do each and every day, trying to save our country, save our freedom, our Constitution. What we do each and every day in defense of our borders and in defense of our president. We thank you, Lord, for assembling this great team that we have here that comes in here and works hard each and every day. We have a great team. I have a great intel team that works very hard for me. The commander has got great officers, got great men, boots on the ground, wherever they need to be, and they do the work that needs to be done. And we ask you, Lord, that you would watch over them as they do that work. Keep them safe. We thank you, Lord, for our great listeners. They come here each and every time we do a show and patronize us and listen to us and do everything that they can to support and help us. We ask you to bless them as they bless us with their words of encouragement and their help. We thank you, Lord, for those who are boots on the ground now down there at the border, who are standing watch over things and reporting back to us. We ask you to watch over them and keep them safe. Those who are standing watch elsewhere in the world, keep your hand upon them. Keep them safe. We also thank you, Lord, for the man that we serve under here at United Constitutional Patriots. We thank you for our commander, the hard work that he does each and every day. He works just like our great president. He works many, many hours every day, seeing to the needs of his men, seeing to the needs of those that are on the border, and making sure that everyone on his staff, everyone that serves under him, has what they need to do their job. We ask you to bless him for the work that he does and continue to strengthen him and his wife. And we ask you, Lord, to continue to watch over our president, his family, and all those working together with him to the betterment of our country and the defeat of the deep state. We ask you to continue to let your blood of protection be upon them and your angels be encamped around about them. Continue to thwart the plans, the schemes, and the works of the wicked one against them and against us. And we ask you now, Lord, to continue with us throughout this night and into the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and direct us, and draw us ever closer to one another and ever closer to thee. For we do it, ask it all in the glorious, holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I appreciate it, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, think about our futures, your children's futures. Think about what you can do to help our country. Think about what you would do if you were in the position of President Trump and how you would try, or how would you get things done that he is able to do. Without the support of the American people, he can't do his job. But you know what? He's doing it. He's kept every promise, including the wall, whether we have to pay for it or not. He's kept the promise of getting that wall up, and it's going up as we speak, faster than you would ever believe. So let's hope and pray that we get this done without any more of this trouble we're having. You know, I want to thank the law enforcement out there. They put their life on the line every day for Americans. They're there, whether you like them or not, they're there when you need them. If you're in a car accident, they're the first responders. If there's somebody breaking into your house or there's somebody beating your butt, they're the first responders to be there to try to help you. And then then people turn around and they cuss them and call them names and don't show them any respect. Well, when you see an officer and he's out there on the road doing something to protect somebody, or even if it's giving somebody a ticket, they give a ticket trying to protect you to keep you from speeding to where you don't lose control of your vehicles. You know, I'm not saying that all cops or all police officers are perfect. They're not. They're human beings. They make mistakes like everybody. You know what? They're out there for you. First responders, they're the first one out there for you. The military, not just in our country, on our borders, but are overseas, protecting the rights of human beings and their lives, where they're having genocides, like they're trying to annihilate the Christians. You know, I have my religious beliefs that go very deep. All of us do. We are all children of God, no matter what color we are. We need to stand together, hand in hand, as brothers and sisters. And no matter what, put our faith in God and pray together. You know, when I was a kid, my aunt and uncle always told me a family that prays together stays together. And they're gone now. God bless them. They were great, great people. They taught me what morals were. What was right is right and wrong is wrong. There's no halfway in between. You can't ride the middle of the fence. That's like the situation we have now with the border. You can't ride the middle of the fence, sit on the sawtobs, and fall whichever way the wind blows. You got to be willing to step up and do what has to be done. Our president, he doesn't have to do this. He could have been retired. But no, he stepped up to save America, to save your constitutional rights, to save the American people from being overrun by the left, whose agenda was to kill all Christians, anybody that doesn't believe in their agenda, to where they can rape, kill, do whatever they want. That's what the agenda is, and that is what we are fighting against. So think about this. Think really hard. Think about what we're trying to do and why we need you down here so bad on the border to back us and help us and stand with us shoulder to shoulder as Americans and patriots. Let's stand for God, guts, and country, because that's what made this country. Stand for our flag. Don't ever let it drop. Let it stand tall and wave. It's the most beautiful sight there is, because it's in the free wind and it's blowing free. Well, we want to keep that free. With that, I want to thank you for being with us. God bless our country, our patriots, our military, our police officers, our first responders, and God bless America, and God bless our president one more time. With that, I will see you folks Wednesday night, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Share this program. Share it and share it and share it. Also, get the word out. Find people that are willing to help, to donate, that are patriots, the one that understand why we're where we're at. We don't have to be there. We're there because we took an oath, because we believe in America, because we believe in our freedom and your rights, your freedom, not just us. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say good night. God bless you. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Until then, have a great evening. Give the ones you love a hug. Let them know how you feel. And good night, folks.
Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots tonight. Our next show will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'd like to thank all you Patriots for tuning in, and God bless everybody, and have a great night.